It's Jean with Kept in Stitches, and it is time for my week in review. So come on in, everybody. Welcome to the Stitching Cottage, where I am going to share with you what I have been doing this past week. So look, I am surrounded by quilts, and we'll get into why that is a little later into this week in review. But first of all, I want to wish you all a very happy Easter. Hope you are having a wonderful day with family and friends, eating lots of good food, and just enjoying the wonderful day. So let's get right into now what I have been doing this past week in the Stitching Cottage. And I have, of course, been working on the mini series of the hand quilting step by step, where I have been teaching Danielle of Danielle's Stitchery how to hand quilt live on Wednesday evenings. So I have been working on the little sampler that we have set up for working all those sections, learning the different ways of the hand quilting. Sorry, the light is adjusting there, but so I have been working more on that also. And then I have been working on our rose project that we are doing for those of you that want to join in on YouTube, but also in the Facebook group that is associated with my YouTube channel. That is one of the projects that we are doing. It will be a needle book when it is completed. So that I have also been working on this past week. Not getting done as much as I'd like to, but hey, progress is progress, right? And finding places to set these down as I show you what I have been working on. And then, of course, you did see during my live on Monday morning, working more on the embroidery on this little quilt, which that bird is now finished, and also worked, let me see, where did it go? Just lost it. It's in the center here. But started working on the house right there. That is on the middle snowball of this little quilt. That is coming along very nice. I am really loving that quilt. Whoops. And we almost had the lap frame for the counted stitch cross stitch fall on the floor. And this, I just wanted to share with you, this is a little rocking chair that I have that looks very much like one that my grandmother used to have and sat on her treadle sewing machine. And I use it to keep my threads and stuff while I am working on hand quilting. It's got a cute little drawer that pulls out that also has some of the supplies and everything that I use on that. But I just wanted to share that cute little chair, rocking chair with you. And I seem to be dropping a lot of things today. We will set that back out of the way, and I think it'll be okay with what just dropped on the floor. It happens, right? And then I also found a cute, remember the Lucky Lucy charm quilt that I have worked. I think I've made 2 of them for the my charity quilt giving when I did the first annual Quilt for Charity marathon through my Kept in Stitches Heartfully Given charity group. And I found this cute little picture of one combining the X's and O's called Hugs and Kisses in beautiful pinks and turquoise. And so I just had to go to my stash and pull these fabrics that I will be using to make that quilt to give also to charity. So just really fell in love with that right away and thought, ooh, I have got to make one like that. So that is something that I will be working on in the coming week. And we'll set that aside. And then I pulled one of my works in progress from the past. Did not realize until I looked at the label that is on the front part of it just how much from the past. I didn't realize it was quite that old, and I'm looking for which is the top and which is the bottom here. But this is a quilt that well, it's blocks. How you decided to put your blocks together was all up to you, but she was doing in 2022, which I think it was the end of 2022 though, so not quite as far back as what it seems. But she was making a blocks for a scrappy sampler quilt along, and I was making the blocks for that along with her as she would share them. I don't think it was once a week. It was maybe, you know, once every other week, once a month, whatever, whenever she got around to making the tutorial for the block. And of course was making 12 blocks. Got to the end of it and I was waiting on the last couple blocks. It got set aside and then life happens, you know. I started my own YouTube channel, got busy and kind of forgot about it. Well, I discovered it the other day and decided I needed to finish it, which all I had was 10 of the blocks laying in a stack, did not have them pieced together yet into rows, and still needed to make the other 2 blocks to go along with it. So in the last 3 days, I got that all out, and you can see that is the first row, and I decided to put it together with sashing and cornerstones and then a red border around it. But I pulled all my patriotic scraps because I do a lot of veterans quilts. So I pulled all my scraps from that, and that's what I was working on when making the blocks for this quilt. And they are all scrappy. It's not, you know, a scrappy different blocks. I mean, the blocks themselves are scrappy blocks in this quilt. And that is trying to keep it so you can see there, that is the next row. And we'll pull it up a little farther here. That keeps flopping over on that block there, but that is another row. And then we will get to the bottom row. Try and flip it here, but that is the bottom row. So got that all together, borders on it, everything, and it is ready to be quilted. And early on when I was making this one, I decided I do not have a veterans quilt myself, and I am a veteran. So I thought, I think I will keep this one for myself. And that little scrappy block down there, I decided to use that one to put some of the information of my time in service in the United States Air Force. So that is what is on that block. There will be another label that goes on the back with the rest of the information for it. But got that quilt completed, ready to add to all these other quilts that I have to be quilted yet. And I also have back here that I will show you how I worked with this quilt. And I'm going to add that right there to that stack to be quilted. But I had this box, and inside this box are all the leftover scraps from when I do a quilt for veterans. And that is what I pulled from and made all the blocks for that quilt out of the scraps that are left over from making other quilts. And there's a plenty left in here yet to still work with. So I do not let anything go to waste. Of course, I did have to use yardage from that's right up there for the sashing. The cornerstones was actually done out of a strip that was in here in my leftover scraps. And then the border and the binding was pulled from yardage. But other than that, it was all done from my leftover scraps. So never, ever throw those scraps away. You'd be amazed at how many things you can use those for. Now to get to what is all of this around me. Well, I have several, and I mean several. You can't even see the bottom of the stack here, and you can't even see this whole tote. We'll move that. That is in the chair beside right here. I thought it would be in view, but it's not. But I have all of these quilts that need to be quilted yet. They are tops that are done, just waiting for their turn to come up, either on the long arm or my domestic machine. None of these are included in the ones that I hand quilt. So I also have, those are all stored inside the house. They're not out here in the stitching cottage, with maybe, you know, one or two that I work on out here. So I have decided that I need to go through and I need to do an inventory on all these quilts. This is an antique wicker basket on wheels behind me that I keep underneath my long arm. It used to be that that was the only quilts that I had that were waiting to be quilted. And no, I have added, you know, several other stacks to that along the way. But this is completely filled to overflowing with quilt tops that are waiting to be quilted. So I am going to inventory every single one of those. This stack right here, show the entire stack, and which includes this stack. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, this stack as well. Didn't realize how heavy that was. Those are charity quilts that I need to quilt yet. Have several quilted, but these are the ones that still need to be quilted. And you will notice that there are not just kids quilts or baby quilts in here. There are queen size quilts in here that I also do for charity. And this is an example of one that you find wherever you may, you know, find quilt tops that people have not finished. And I will get those if they are a good price, and I will quilt them and donate those to charity as well. So those are all waiting to be quilted. The ones that are in here are personal quilts, except some may end up as charity quilts, as well as all the ones in the wicker basket are all personal quilts, not for charity. But as I say, as I go along and go through them, sometimes I decide to go ahead and donate some of those quilts as well. But so that is what is in all of these around me. They are not getting put away until they are all inventoried and prioritized in the order that I feel that they need to be quilted. So that's quite a bit of work that I have ahead of me, because I want to get caught up on all these quilts. Now, of course, there's a lot of these to be done and a lot for charity. Some of them I already have the backing and batting for. Some of them I do not. And I noticed that, yeah, my supplies on that type of thing are starting to dwindle a little bit here in the cottage. So I might have to come up with some resource on restocking those supplies. But as you know, I do have my own charity group, which is Threads of Captain Stitch's Heartfully Given. And that is where you will always find any information and stuff that I have that has to do with the charity quilting that I do. Not just quilting, I also do crocheted items. I also make stuffed animals, lots of things for charity. Lots of different charities. I donate to multiple charities in my local area. And by my local area, that includes anywhere from down to Cincinnati to Columbus, a wide area, not just the city that I live in. Of course, I like to do most of mine within the county that I live in, but do branch out to those areas as well, because that is where some of the main branches for some of the charities that I donate to are located. And I also, if there is ever anyone that is in need, something has happened in someone's life and they are in need of a quilt or a crocheted item or something, if you contact me and let me know, I will always have something on hand that I will be able to donate for that. So I did want you to all be aware of that also, and that is always ongoing. I am throughout the year, every year, all year long, doing things in quilting and crocheting and sewing for charity. So that is that, and why there is a large amount of quilts that are still needed to be quilted. The majority of them are done on the long arm. Some of the smaller ones I do on the domestic machine. I do not hand quilt any for charity. that I do not do. That would take forever, but so. And then, of course, we need to get to what did I receive in the mail this week? And I think we will go ahead and show both of these first, because then you will understand why I got the other item that I got in the mail. I have been seeing a lot of you doing the rope bowls, rope coasters, that type of thing. And I thought, ooh, I would like to give that a try. So I did get both of these books that have information, patterns, and techniques on doing the rope bowls, rope coasters, even rope bags and purses in here. And some of these, there isn't one, but they even have lids for some of these. There are rope plates, rope placemats, just all sorts of items and everything in here. They even, look, there is even one decorated for Halloween on there. But received both of those books, and then of course you have to have rope, which this is cotton clothesline rope. So I ordered a couple different ones to see which I may prefer, or you know, who knows. But anyway, I have some rope to also work with those. And of course, you always run across other items when you're looking for other things. So I also ordered this lovely sampler. The Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee is what it's called, but really fell in love with that pattern and received that also. When am I going to find time to do all these, right? We will find time. And I was a winner in one of Mona Did What's giveaways, and I won this counted cross stitch pattern, which that will be made up, and then it will be incorporated somehow into a quilt, because that's usually what I do with my counted cross stitch items now. I somehow add it to a quilted item in some shape or form. And needed some more charm packs to go with some of the printed ones that I use for charities. So I got two of, it's the grunge white, to go with some of my other printed charm packs for charity quilts. And I got, because I will be doing a lot for the expectant mothers baby quilts, expectant veteran mothers baby quilts. That is a new one that I will be doing at my local VA. I got some of the blue ones to go along with some of the Americana and patriotic prints that I have. And I also, for our upcoming quarterly project, which is the second quarter that we are starting in April, in the Facebook group, we do a quarterly quilt stitch along, and I needed some more pearl cotton for that. So this is all of the pearl cotton that I got from Rusty Crow. I have left that information before in the description box. And when I was doing that, of course, look through some of the patterns, and you all know that in my stitching cottage there are squirrels. We all have squirrels, right? So I think I just saw one run by there. But I have had, you know, a little discussion with the squirrels that come into my stitching cottage, and you will see that most everything matches in my stitching cottage. I'm a little OCD. So the squirrels in my stitching cottage must be pink. And I came across this cute pattern of this squirrel, and of course I am going to use that squirrel pattern to somehow make it up into it being a pink squirrel. Not sure it's going to be on a pumpkin or whatever exactly as the pattern is, but we will have some pink squirrels done up in stitchery in the cottage from that pattern. And I believe, don't think I've left anything out. I'm checking to make sure. Well, you can kind of see part of this. It's a 5-drawer unit here, and it says mercerie bouton. I think it's in French for mercantile and buttons or whatever. But I purchased that to keep some of my Valdani pearl cotton threads in, and might be getting one or two more of those because I really do like those and how I can store those threads in there. But that is everything that I have done this past week. With all of this to do, all I did was pull out all of the quilts. Now I have to find a place to keep them while I inventory them all. And what I will be doing as I do that and get that inventoried is, there's a lot of quilts here. And I know a lot of you have not seen a lot of the quilts that I have made. And of course, there's no way I could show you all the quilts that I have made in the past, 40 plus years. And some of them I don't have, of course, because they've been given away as gifts, etc., things like that. But I am going to do a trunk show. And I haven't decided exactly whether I will be doing that live or whether I will be doing it in a recorded video. But after I get these all sorted out and all inventoried, I will be doing a trunk show showing you all of these quilt tops that are to be quilted yet. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you will enjoy that. And have a wonderful rest of your last day of the weekend. Welcome to April tomorrow. I will see some of you in my live tomorrow morning, and just want to say thank you everyone for being loyal supporters and always enjoying and thanking me for what it is that I share through Captain Stitches and my YouTube channel. Really do love it. I just, my goal is just to inspire someone else to find the joy and the love of quilting and stitching. And if I do that, I'm happy. So thank you, everyone. Take care. And remember, as always, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.